In the cool highlands of Kimende, Kiambu County, a quiet farming revolution is unfolding. With frequent rains gracing the region for more than a year, leafy vegetables have become a staple on Kenyan plates. But as backyard gardens bloom and supply rises, what happens to farmers who depend on these crops to survive? Meet Njoroge Ndegwa of Green Highland Farm. For the past 5 years, Njoroge has practiced serious farming, planting, rotating, harvesting and repeating. His farm is a patchwork of productivity, focusing on staples like sukuma wiki, spinach, cabbage, and the more delicate broccoli and cauliflower. His approach is strategic: plant in blocks, harvest in intervals, and always stay market ready.
In our farm, we concentrate mostly on horticulture, the basic vegetables like sukuma, spinach, white cabbage, red cabbage, broccolis, cauliflowers. The main reason for doing mixed farming is the availability of the market. It's not complicated to market my produce because I'm near Nairobi, although the market prices nowadays are changing. But I've been in farming serious farming for like 5 years, I personally. But I decided to do now the mixed farming so as to be in the market throughout with various types of crops.
Located close to Nairobi, Njoroge says accessing market is relatively easier but far from simple. The competition is stiff and the price fluctuations are a daily gamble. With high supply comes low prices and sometimes huge losses.
For you to start farming and for you to identify what you want to farm, it also starts with your financial strength, and you start with what you see mostly on the table. That will tell you that a certain type of crop, the market is there. The market is readily available. It's not a challenge to find the market. Then from there you advance. You start with a small part, then you add the size of the farm, and with time you diversify to other crops. The biggest challenge right now is the market fluctuation. The pricing is changing at a tremendous rate. Also, the case of rain, I do irrigation, so I don't have a very big challenge on that. But they are bringing effect. Kukiwa na mvua, you'll find some vegetables zenye hazihitaji lots of care, they are appearing and zita affect zenye hazikui sana. There are many challenges you'll find on the way, but as time goes by, you'll have to cruise. You'll have to learn the challenge you faced last time. If it's something you can solve, you'll try to avoid it the next time you're in farming. Because mashida nazo ziko, yeah, it also depends on the experience you have. Even the climate also brings some challenges. For my own challenges, sometimes the challenges you might face are pests, controlling pests. Sometimes, you don't want even to apply many chemicals because you're also consuming the same crops. Then the biggest challenge also comes in the market, to market what you have.
Vegetables are graded before they even leave the field.
I mostly market my produce through brokers. A big number is through brokers, then the rest, the local community, and then the brokers take to Nairobi and Mombasa. Something to do with the marketing, the farm has grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3, depending on your level of experience and the input you are using. So mostly for my case, I usually have grade 1 and grade 2. So you'll find such supermarkets will only take the grade 1 and not in large quantities. So I prefer, I sell to some supermarkets, but I prefer selling to brokers because they will take grade 1 and grade 2. So I won't have a challenge of marketing grade 2. No, in skuma, it's skuma ni skuma. But for something like cabbage, the size is now, the appearance, the size and the appearance. Yes, because you'll find now grade 1s want like 2.5 to 3 kgs or 3.5. and you'll find sometimes you have a number of your cabbages are around 2.4. You know, they won't fit for the grade 1. The grade 2, it's below 2 kgs, and if the crop has been affected by maybe it has spots, it has black rot, things like those. For you to achieve the grade 1, you must now first understand what the crop needs in its growing cycle, and you give it to it. For example, it requires manure, the land to be fertile. You use the best fertilizers in the market. If you also need to have a proper spraying program.
Njoroge's secret: smart strategy. From soil testing to knowing which crops follow which, nothing is random on this farm. Crop rotation is non-negotiable. It's a key to managing soil health and pests like nematodes.
In farming, you need to be doing crop rotation. So, like for this case, I had cabbages there. I can't plant cabbage the second time, so I need to alternate with a different crop. On my soil, the first thing I do is soil testing. So with soil testing, the results will tell you what your farm needs. So with that, you will know what to apply. And when doing soil testing, you're asked which crops you want to plant. So with that, you'll be advised you can use this manure or this fertilizer depending on the results from your soil.
But with food safety concerns rising, Njoroge is cautious about over-relying on agrochemicals. He seeks help from private agronomists and integrates multiple knowledge sources, balancing control with responsibility.
On the case of pests, they exist throughout the cycle of a crop. During planting, cutworms are there. When the crops are in their month, 2 months, or at all those stages, there are the diseases and there are the pests that affect the crop. So when planting, definitely you will be required to use a chemical to control the cutworms. I don't have an alternative on that, so I use a chemical. So when the crops are growing, maybe, you can't apply chemicals when you haven't seen any signs of diseases or presence of pests. So for the case of, and in another case, it depends with the seasons. Like during the rainy seasons, fungal diseases thrive. During the sunny seasons, you'll find pests like aphids thrive more. So you are always prepared. When it's the sunny season, it's most likely, or it's a guarantee, you will have a presence of aphids. So now you control them at an early stage.
To ensure healthy starts, Njoroge outsources seed propagation from some crops while managing others like sukuma wiki and spinach in-house. It's a cost-saving measure and a quality control step rolled into one.
On the case of seedlings, I first buy the seeds from the local agrovet, the one that I buy from. Then crops like cabbages, broccolis, I take the seeds to an outside propagator to do the propagation for me. But for the case of skuma and spinach, I do propagate for myself. Another way is keeping your field always clean from weeds that may be bringing the chemicals. You can see there is a portion I have planted onions to try maybe to control some pests that may come into the farm. All the chemicals have their own withdrawal period. It depends with what you're trying to control.
Shelf life is a farmer's daily worry. Without cold storage, leafy vegetables lose value fast. While ideas like drying exist, Kimende's cold climate makes it impractical. Njoroge is exploring affordable solutions, but investment remains a hurdle.
I haven't yet decided on which way to use, but there are several ways you can use cold chains. You can use cold rooms, you can use such things. For our case, cold storing is a common one.
Rotation isn't just for soil, it's a business strategy. By staggering crops, Njoroge ensures something is always ready for market. It's how he stays afloat amid unpredictable pricing and buyer behavior.
You can see here we have broccolis, we have courgettes, we have red cabbage, white cabbage. All of them at different stages, because I want to be in the market consistently. So that's why I have planted them in small blocks.
For young people considering farming, Njoroge offers a sobering message. Treat it as a business, not a fallback. With the right mindset, agriculture can offer real returns, but it's not a shortcut.
In farming, it's all about how you view it. If you view it from the business side, there is money. If you view it as a dirty job, you won't see any money in it.
His dream: expand markets, maybe set up his own farm shop and train others to do the same. But for now, Njoroge's focus is steady supply, quality produce, and being one step ahead of the market. Up next, our agronomist joins us to break down how vegetable farmers can prepare for drier seasons ahead and what technologies can help extend the shelf life of produce.
I'm Wangari Maina. I'm an agronomist, and I help farmers in the plant growth. Let me call it a plant growth. Scouting on their farms, advising them on which way to follow and what to do during the growth season of a plant.
For most vegetable farmers, aphids are the #1 enemy. They attack nearly all leafy crops and spread fast. Cutworms are also a major issue, especially during the early stages of plant growth, when the stems are still tender.
In most of the vegetable farmers, most of the veggies are affected by aphids. That's the biggest enemy that we have, and also the cutworm. But the cutworm always attack them during the early stage, the young stage. So you find it when it just grows and the tuber is thick, the cutworm can't cut the tubers, the stems. So it's mostly the aphids and the cutworms that affect the veggies.
At times, biological solutions like crop repellents, onions, rosemary, lemongrass, even coriander can do wonders. The smell drives pests away naturally, reducing the need for chemical sprays.
There we have chemicals that farmers use, of which I don't recommend for chemicals as much as we can go, but sometimes you find the infestation is too much and you can't let it go away by saying that you're going to use the biological means. So you have to use the chemical means to avoid the spread of the widespread of the aphids. So there is a chemical use. Apart from that, there is, like in this farm you have seen, in between a certain partition of a crop to another, kuna onions. Yeah, onions, the smell of onions repel the pest. You can also use the basils, you can use the rosemary, the lemongrass, the mint, at least per section. If you have broccoli here, the next section you are doing the cauliflower. At least in each partition, have a repellent crop that will repel the pest away.
Using chemicals continuously contaminates the soil and destroys living organisms that help with aeration. The result: reduced plant health and shorter shelf life. If you notice your kale turning yellow quickly, even before harvest, chemicals might be to blame. A good rule is to scout the crop first. Don't spray unless there are clear signs of infestation, and when you must, spray early enough before harvest to ensure food safety.
When using the biological means, rather than using the chemical means, you find even your plant will have a long shelf life. Sometimes you find you use chemicals too much and then you have some black rots on the plant, and then even like you can store kales for a long period when you're not using the chemicals more than that. You find the kales start tarnishing yellow. And then for that's even after storing 3 days. Mostly if you have used chemicals for a long time, you find the kales even on the ground, they have already started turning before even you have harvested them and keeping them in the storage. For food storage, using on the chemicals, the shelf life, it's reduced. So I will go for that.
Before you plant, test your soil. Vegetables thrive in pH ranging from 6 to 7. If your soil is too acidic, you risk burning your crops with fertilizers. Gypsum or agricultural lime can help correct acidity for healthier growth.
It's important to do the soil pH because sometimes you may use the chemicals or maybe the fertilizers and your soil is so acidic, you find your plant is it has scorched. It is caused because of too much acidic. So it's good to take a soil testing that has to be range from 6 to 7. If it's extreme above that, you can use the gypsum, we call it agricultural lime, to lower down your acidity in the soil, at least for better produce and for a better growth. There is something called consistency in agriculture. And mostly if I'm doing commercially, if I lack consistency, then I don't have my client. Plant them in stages. Have that stage, or like I'm doing broccoli, I'm harvesting broccoli. By the time they are reaching the flowering stage, have the land preparation on the other side of the broccoli. So interval farming, have those stages, and then you never go out of market.
Smart farming isn't about shortcuts, it's about science. From soil testing to staggered planting to integrated pest management, when done right, vegetable farming is both profitable and sustainable. For Farm Guide, I'm Paul Mbogwa.